So, this is the very first episode of Casual Friday, where two HR friends discuss HR things in a very casual, fun, relaxed sort of way. And 'tis the season. So, today we're going to talk about holiday parties and HR's love-hate relationship with holiday parties and some of the crazy things that happen at holiday parties. In fact, I have some fun holiday party stories to share with you and get your reaction to from an HR perspective.
Awesome.
So this is my friend Wendy. Wendy and I have both been in HR for a long time.
Yep. You don't need to define that.
Yeah,
That's fine.
A long time.
Yep.
And so we have a lot of HR experience. We have a lot of experience with people behaving badly around the holidays. Yes. And so we're going to get into all of that.
All right. So excited.
So first and foremost, for all the managers out there, if you're thinking about hosting holiday parties for your team, there are a lot of things to think about that, could potentially get you into trouble.
Yes.
So we're gonna go through some of that. But I want to start off with some of the juicy stuff. So we're gonna get into the stories. I have two particular ones that I want to share. One is kind of longer and one is a little shorter. So I'll share both. And I just want to get your reaction, Wendy, because I think you're going to love these. It's the kind of tea that I feel like as HR people who have read like thousands of files, it's not like surprising.
No.
None of it. But it's like juicy drama stuff.
It's the thing that people think is what we're doing all the time.
Right.
Like it's the good juicy stuff and not the piles and piles of, oh no, people just were annoying and badly behaved.
So this is this one was my favorite. This is from HuffPost. It's an article entitled 8 of the Most Memorably Bad and Funny Office Holiday Party Stories. And the title of this one is The Vomit-Filled Hijinks at the Boss's House.
Oh, no.
So that's what we're going to start with today. First of all, the fact that it's at the boss's house.
Yeah, step one.
Can we say that that's like don't do that?
We have made the first mistake. Do not host.
No. No. Don't be hosting this at your house. That's just going to open you up to all sorts of things. But anyway, I'll get into the story. It says, not my holiday party, but my husband's. His married bosses had it at their house for many, many years. One coworker showed up 2 hours late, completely wasted, missed dinner, was in the entryway for 5 minutes before he puked everywhere. Couch, floors, walls, TV, lamp, etc., all covered in it. His date was mortified, got a cab for them, and they left a whole 20 minutes after they arrived. You think that would have been enough to stop the holiday party at the boss's house, but no. The very next year, they were there and they had it again.
Why? Why would you do that?
And a different coworker got wasted and tried to hook up with their kid's nanny.
No!
In the 4-year-old's bed.
Oh!
The kid was not home that night, thankfully.
Okay, how does it get worse? How does,
a cab gets called to take them home, and from what we were told, they were making out in the back of the cab, and one of them got sick mid-make-out, like in the other person's mouth. It says, unfortunately, my husband has since moved on to a new company, and now his holiday parties are lame in comparison.
How is that unfortunate? Okay, maybe not everyone has emetophobia like I do, but... I can't.
Yeah.
That's
so... It's so bad on so many levels.
Was it a carpet cleaning company?
Oh. Well, it doesn't say.
Maybe. They're like, well, yeah, it's a...
I think once someone vomits all over my house, that's the last time anybody's coming in my house.
Right.
Like, for a long time.
If we're doing horror movie style, just... hosing things down. I can't imagine walking back from that. Or being the date. No, ma'am. Yeah. No, if my date projectile vomits, everywhere at his boss's house.
Yeah.
I'm leaving.
It's a red flag.
I'm backing up. They're going to have to deal with this situation. I'm going home sans date and probably ghosting them.
I can't imagine being the person who behaves that way at a holiday party and then you show your face at work again.
No.
Like how? How? What level of confidence do you have that you're just like, yeah, I just vomited all over my boss's TV?
So, I do find it astonishing through the years having those situations where I'm like, wow, you came back from that.
People are resilient.
Like, we fired you and now you're asking if you can apply for a different position.
Yes.
No.
That's happened a lot.
It has. And that's the kind of audacity people have that I'm like,
the audacity.
We love a confident king or queen, but also maybe read the room.
Yeah.
And don't puke on it.
It is amazing to me. Like, I feel like I would be so incredibly mortified that I would want to, like, never exist in the minds of any of the people that saw it.
No,
And yet, there are people who are just like, I'll just go to a different department. It'll be fine.
No, I'm deleting my social media.
Right.
I am moving. Mm-hmm. I'm leaving the state at least. If I don't, I'm going to leave the industry altogether because I cannot take the chance of any overlap of anyone being able to tell that story about me and it get back to me. I can't.
Yeah. That one for me, that was pretty rough.
And that's beyond the making out and trying to hook up with I hope that nanny got fired.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Because if she seems to have been a willing participant in this journey.
Well, and like if the kid's not there,
why is the nanny there?
Why is the nanny there?
Great question.
Okay, we need answers. This next one is super short, but very embarrassing, and so I thought it was a good one to discuss. It says, the employee who passed out in her boss's arms. So, when I was 25 or so, I got drunk at my work's Christmas party. So drunk that I fell off a stool, hit my head, and passed out. I came to crying outside in my boss's arms while his boss called me an Uber home.
Oh, honey.
So not just did you embarrass yourself in front of your boss, but now your boss's boss as well.
Oh, honey.
And I'm sensing a common theme here of alcohol.
Yeah. Also, maybe not an Uber. Maybe we should seek medical attention.
Yeah.
In that case.
Yeah.
If someone is
getting a concussion. Yeah, you probably shouldn't take an Uber home.
Yeah, be like, she'll be fine.
Yeah, that's pretty. They probably just wanted to get rid of her, like, altogether.
Yeah, we don't know how to handle this situation.
Yeah. What do you think it is about people that, like, they're professional every day, like every other day of the year, and then the holiday party comes around, and they're just, like, slamming alcohol at levels that they clearly can't handle. Mm-hmm. Why in your mind, not your mind, in someone's mind, why is that a thing, right? Like, why do we feel like, oh, it's a holiday party, I can just get completely wasted and, like, it's gonna be fine?
I mean, the key to success, really, and the advice one should take away from this is you should just drink heavily all the time.
Up your tolerance.
Yeah, just be better at drinking.
Right.
That's not my advice. No, I think it's a combination of things. So part of it, I would blame on if there's an open bar. Because people will overindulge.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got boss's boss footing the bill and pouring...
That's true. Maybe people are just trying to, like, not take advantage, but they're like, I'm going to get my money's worth because I'm not paid enough. So I'm just going to, like, drink my weight in alcohol and, like, call it even.
Right, because we've all seen those events with an open bar, the wedding, the what have you.
Yeah.
When people are not paying for their own alcohol.
Yeah, that's true.
They overindulge.
Yeah.
But I think there's also an aspect to feeling like that, oh, this is my opportunity to cut loose. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas kind of thing of like, woo, we're all
what happens
get
at the
crazy.
holiday party ends up on the internet.
It does. It does. And in your employee file, depending on the circumstances.
Yeah. Yeah, I know as an HR person, I've had to deal with a lot of that fallout where, you know, you get all of these reports after these holiday parties of people misbehaving or drinking too much and then like coming on to a coworker and it's an unwanted advance. And like then the HR department is involved in trying to deal with all of that because those inhibitions are gone if you're drinking that much. And like you said, if you're sort of in this state of mind where it's like, I'm not at work, so yeah, I don't have to have this. Yeah.
And I think there is something to like, oh, we're going to let our hair down together and be just people.
Yeah, like it's going to be some bonding experience, but it's just embarrassing.
Yeah, it's just awkward for everybody afterwards.
Yeah.
Other than those few people who don't feel awkward about their own behavior literally ever. Yeah. They're fine.
Who are those people? Can I get some of that vitamin, whatever that is?
I don't think I want it because that's how you end up on the internet.
That's true.
You just don't care about it.
Well, I did have a fun thing to share too. So I was drinking my smoothie earlier, and given what we're talking about today, I used my e.l.f. cup, and I started thinking, where was the HR person in the movie e.l.f.? Because there's a lot going on in terms of like there was drinking in the mailroom, like drinking at work, talking about alcohol,
which is pretty much almost always a bad call.
Almost.
Well, listen, people work for breweries.
That's true.
Like,
yeah, back in like the Mad Men days, people were having martinis at lunch, and
a sommelier like, well, none for you today. I mean,
yeah, I get that.
There are specific, structured circumstances.
That's fair.
Not that one. No, that's not the one.
No. So like, so there's drinking in the mailroom. Yep. There's
he's a nepotism hire.
There's a nepotism hire. He's sitting in on all sorts of confidential meetings. Yep. He's not technically an employee. Yeah. So there's some of that.
Do you think he could complete an I-9? Because
he doesn't have any documentation.
He doesn't.
No.
So are you paying him under the table?
Yeah.
Like now that has tax implications.
Yeah. And he is basically calling a little person an elf. Like, so we have some of that going on. Yep. That's an HR nightmare.
Yep. DNI's like,
yeah. He's not meeting dress code.
No. Whatever the appearance policy says, it's not that.
No, I think the tights are probably a no-go for like a 6'5" man generally.
Yeah. Not that.
Again, there are probably some situations where
certain
that's
contexts.
Fine. Yeah.
Where, yeah. That short of a short situation.
Yeah. So, thinking about holiday parties, what advice do you think we should give as HR people to managers who want to be festive around the holidays, but they don't want to cross boundaries. Right. They don't want to get in any kind of trouble. They want to make sure everybody feels included. Like, what are some key takeaways that you think managers should know?
Well, I think it's important to start with understanding your team too, because there are certainly people that don't celebrate holidays.
That's true.
Cannot celebrate holidays.
That's true.
So I think there has to be certain sensitivities to making sure it's not, hey, we're having a Christmas party, and that automatically excludes team members.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I think that's a necessary starting place. Again, maybe avoid alcohol.
Yeah.
I very much enjoy a holiday cocktail or just a cocktail at any time.
All the cocktails.
But I think it's important that we create an established expectation of the tone of the party. So if there is going to be alcohol involved, make sure it's somewhere that kind of naturally...
It's like a neutral space. You need like a neutral space. Like definitely not at the boss's house.
No, never host.
Yeah.
Really, in general, hosting is
somewhere that can be cleaned up easily, apparently.
Someone else's problem?
Someone else's problem to clean, yeah.
You know, it can be done, and it can be fine. And a lot, too, depends on your team. Like, how big of a party are you trying to do? Because the more variables you add, the more challenging it becomes. If you have a small team and you're doing a team dinner together.
Yeah, I think a dinner feels safe. Even if you are drinking, you've got food to sort of balance it out. That feels good. And like you said, like taking into consideration who's on your team, what types of celebrations are appropriate.
Right.
And it's a really busy time of year, too. I feel like it's really hard to ask your staff to, like, be away from their family even more. Like if you're not including family members in the Christmas party.
Yeah, and that is a whole other mess of problems of, you know, how much pressure are you putting on your team to participate, to be involved? Is it better? Can you set it up to do it at work, on work time?
I've done one like that. It was because my team was distributed across the country. We did a Zoom call and we did charcuterie making together. Yes. So we were allowed to have wine at home if we wanted to. We were all home. So it was really nice because like everybody had their wine, they had their charcuterie, like we were all doing really fun stuff together. Yay. So like it was something that you could then share with your family in your home when you were done. I thought it was a great idea.
Yeah.
And it was during the workday. So it was kind of at the end of the workday, end of my workday. I think for the folks that were on the West Coast, it was probably the middle of the day. Maybe they weren't drinking. I don't know.
That's fine.
But for me, it was like right before the end of the workday. Like my family came home. I had like fresh charcuterie and it was really fun. And so that was a really great way to do it because it wasn't like holiday specific either. Like it was like you could participate at whatever level.
Yeah.
Because we had Jewish people on the team. We had Muslim people on the team. And so however you choose to celebrate, like you were able to just participate in this just overall like festive event at that time of year.
I think that's really the key is to have this stated intention of what it is. If your intention is we just want to enjoy some time together, appreciate the relationships we have at a time of year where people are by and large putting a focus on that. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think that's something that people can respond to and be like, oh, okay, this is not an opportunity for me to wear my most provocative ensemble.
And drink too much.
Yeah, and finally hit on that person from accounting, which, okay.
Yeah.
Like, maybe don't.
Shoot your shot, but you know, be respectful.
Right.
Like, and maybe don't break any policies in the meantime so that your HR people don't have to.
If you could not make it my problem, that would be great.
Well, I think that's the ultimate gift that you can give your HR team is don't give them more problems to deal with during the holidays.
Right, because there's enough stuff we are all putting off until after the first of the year.
Yeah, circle back. Let's circle back after the new year.
Yeah, we are all checked out. So forcing me to not be checked out because I have to wade through your hot mess of a situation and make it so I don't have to write very specific language next year in an email or a communication to be like, please do not. So that everyone in the company looks at it and goes, why would you need to specify that?
Because somebody did it. Yeah.
Great question.
Anytime you get communication from the HR team about literally anything and you think, that's so dumb. Why did they have to put that in an email? It's because somebody did it. Somebody did it, and now we have to say it. So
someone made it necessary for us to be like, yep. Can't take for granted that people will not do that really dumb thing. I read a story a while ago that their holiday party time came around and an email went out saying that management will not bail people out of jail from the holiday party. And they went, wow, why is that a thing? And apparently the year before, a group had enjoyed some cocaine in mass quantities, got themselves arrested, and the owner of the company went and bailed them all out. So then they had to specify going forward, we will not be doing this. And I'm like, boy, you have a lot of issues to deal with in that situation, but.
Wow. Well, folks, I think we've all learned some really valuable lessons of what not to do at your holiday parties. And managers, great things to think about as you go forward with your team in this holiday season. Don't make more work for your HR people if you can help it.
Please.
And we'll catch you next time on Casual Friday.